Yesterday, it was such an easy game to play. But now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why it didn't go, I don't know. It wouldn't fall in. That's a little weird, but keep rolling. We did some things wrong, now I'm on for yesterday. What's up? It's your boy Big Reg. Coming to you from the shadow of the big house in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Coming to you with a heavy heart. As we come here, gathered together to recap and react to this last game that the Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team played in the Big 10 tournament against the OSU Buckeyes. A loss by one stinking point. It's a hard loss to take, I'm not going to lie, folks. Joining me tonight, though, to help me with the burden of trying to work through the disappointment and heartache. First, as always, your producer and ours, the one, the only, Jay Bissell.
I can't understand why people don't understand what this vaccine can do for us. Make sure to get your shots. Make sure to be eligible. Let's fight this COVID. One more thing also, I would like to introduce to the group another special guest that's coming in to the show. A special guest that you all know. This special guest also has showed up before in a prior experience before. So special guest, introduce yourself.
Make sure you ain't on mute. Who is this?
Good evening. I am another nameless guest.
Yes. Love the nameless times two.
This guy. Come on, man. We already know who it is. Where's your video? Just put on your video so that your comes out too. Holy smokes. This guy, he doesn't even have like voice altering software, so he just does it himself. Oh, this show is getting so ratchet. Oh, oh, what the? It is the one, the only, the man, big man himself, Big Rock. Big Rock. Welcome.
Big Rock.
Oh, gosh. Any other intro? No? That's it?
That's it. There's no intro needed.
Oh,
I'm just
Rock.
a nameless guest.
Love it.
Oh, gosh. Big Rock was trying to get like that audio scrambler so that, you know what I mean? Like he's in witness protection.
Witness protection.
Come on, man. Come on.
That mask is all the way up there. The mask is all the way up there.
Company issued.
Oh, gosh. Anywho, let's move on with the introductions. Joining us once again, with a brand new shawl. I don't know why he's wearing this stuff. He's dressing all sorts of weird. The one, the only, backup power forward, or small forward, for the Bronx High School of Science. The one, the only, JC from Sunnyside.
What's going on, everybody? It's been a while. Been a little busy. I was sad to miss the professor, not to be confused with the and one professor. I was sad to miss father figure, one of the oddest nicknames. Even saying it now, I just feel so awkward saying it. I just got to quickly say, I saw on the message board there were a couple of digs about me calling out the 5'9" and under league from Mr. Jin and KO. I saw that there was some hate. And listen, I know the 5'9" and under league was a little exclusive, but just want to say, the 95,
Oh my
96 championship with KO. You know, we were on the team together. He shared the basketball. And even if I was eligible for 5'9" and under for Team Nike, you know, I would have never have seen the ball because Mr. Jin, we know how much of a ball hog he is. You know, he would not have gotten 15 assists in that game whatsoever. But anyway, just wanted to rep the 95-96 IM championship. Thank you all.
Wow. Wow. That was the longest reveal. Holy smoke. I was wondering, why does this dude have a shawl on down in his face for 45 minutes? Now, that was the big reveal. Your 95-96 IM championship shirt. Well, you know what? I raise my glass to IM championships. As a fellow IM champion, I salute you.
Took forever. I'm like sweating.
All right, moving on. Joining us once again in a reclined position, about to fall asleep, the one, the only CrossFit champ himself, nameless guest.
Hey, hey. Unbeknownst to the vast listening audience here, we around our circle always aspire for the tight 10, right? So given that this is daylight savings time, we'll do our best yet again. Yeah, we lose an hour, so let's get ready for some sleep. Let's get it going.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about daylight savings time. Holy smokes, this is another disaster. Anyway, hopefully this next special guest will be able to help us navigate through all the craziness of this past weekend. The one, the only, Spice Master himself, Spicy Mike.
Yo, what up, peeps? Glad to be subbing in today. Can I just say that the quality of JC from Sunnyside's shirt is phenomenal for being at 26 years old? Can we just recognize how the quality of U of M t-shirts that we've all gotten in our years there? I will definitely say that shirt is old enough to drink and some, and yet it still looks like you got it yesterday, JC. Solid, my man. That's some good dry cleaning stuff right there. As a dry cleaning kid myself, I recognize I recognize real, good
I
quality
don't think
there.
it's been washed. I think it's been pressed.
Dry clean every year.
We raise our glass to the high quality merchandise that's given out to the IM champions by the University of Michigan Intramural Department.
Hey, that's the Michigan difference right there. Quality t-shirts, Michigan difference.
There you go. There's a reason why we pay over 50 grand a year in tuition. Come on now.
You know it.
Oh, gentlemen, let's get into it now. What was the final score? 68
to 67. Bad guy.
67. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin with this game. There were so many different plot lines, storylines, things of that nature. Let's first start off with this then. The news before or as the game was about to tip off that Isaiah Livers had an MRI and revealed a strain in his foot. We still don't know what that means exactly, whether it's a stress break or what. I don't know how long he's going to be out, any of these kind of things. But gentlemen, what were your feelings going into the game once you found out that Isaiah Livers might be out for an extended period of time?
They did report. They did a report with Isaiah Livers. They interviewed him, and he said he actually injured it back in New Year's Eve, I think, the game that we had. And then I don't know if it was severe enough. I don't think it was a fracture. I think it was a stress injury. And then he rehabbed it all along. Interesting enough, in the article also, it also mentioned that Juwan Howard didn't even know about it until just yesterday when they had the MRI. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't think he's coming back. I don't know. Nameless guest, you're the MD.
They left the crack open. So we'll have to wait and see. If he was out for the season, they would have said so.
Crack open. That's your diagnosis. Come on.
Stress injury means we've already texted back and forth. Come on, Rock. We've already had this conversation. Stress injury is deliberately vague language. It's not a stress fracture. Soft tissue injury. We'll wait and see.
Soft tissue injury. Man. All right. Glad this is recorded.
Big Rock throwing out some vague accusations. Yes. What these accusations
I'll say
are,
this.
I have
I
no idea.
did mention to the nameless guest, he was hobbling. He looked injured in the Maryland game. So I knew something was wrong. Had no idea it was this bad.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's a break yet. If it's a break, a fracture, that's one thing. But if it's soft tissue,
Exactly.
like nameless guest saying, he might be back in time for at least, let's say the second weekend if we make it that far in the tournament. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I mean, he aggravated it yesterday in the first half when he made a turnover. He was trying to go back and recover. So I don't know why he was out again the second half. He shouldn't have been out. And that could have, done more damage. But he's out. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
He's out.
I mean, is he gonna risk his future? I mean, we don't know what his NBA prospect is, but is he gonna risk that future to play 2-3 more games, if that? You don't know.
I actually think his injury helps his poor performance yesterday because there's a reason for it. I mean, he had 0 points, 15 minutes. I thought they yanked him because he was playing so poorly, but a stress fracture, that explains the poor performance. So it's forgivable yesterday, and I think that he might get drafted end of the second round, but will definitely get picked up as an undrafted free agent.
I don't know. I'm just hoping that he comes back for us sometime in the tournament. You know what I mean? When I heard that he was not playing, yesterday's game when he was not playing, I almost didn't notice. I'll be honest with you, because BJJ Brandon Johns Jr. and was doing I thought he did a pretty good job yesterday against Maryland, but then today, against a tougher level of competition, it didn't pan out as well, I thought, for BJJ, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Wow, blaming it on one person for the loss today? Come on.
This
That
guy,
is not fair.
talking about? Rock, come on, Rock. That's a stretch, baby. That's a stretch. Holy smokes. This guy. Oh my gosh. You can tell Rock has been chomping at the bit to get on the show because he's jumping at the first opportunity. You know what I mean? To get some kind of Rock, I'm just saying he didn't play as well today versus yesterday. I didn't say the loss was his fault. Come on, Rock. Rock, pace yourself, baby. Pace yourself.
Come on now.
Oh, goodness.
But
gracious.
I do think the fact that Livers was out, they had to mentally adjust. And I don't think they mentally adjusted until maybe the second half. Him not being out there the first half, I think they were adjusting because they didn't have any practices without him. So, it's understandable that they were struggling today.
Yeah, I agree with you. They got blasted on the rebounding end. That was just a disgrace. It was just unwatchable to get out hustled by the Bucks on the boards. That was just inexcusable. So yeah, I agree with you. They definitely missed him on the bounce.
My question is one thing, like Dwayne Washington, I don't know. He's the Michigan killer, I guess. Like he just keeps going off every time he plays against us. He is a Michigan guy. I don't know why we didn't recruit him. I don't know what happened with that one. But we could have used him on our team. That would have been helpful. But they were going crazy on the 3-pointers, right? What were they, like 13 of whatever? Like they were just hitting threes like nonstop. That happens in the tournament, man. That happens in games. And it just seems like right now we don't have anyone who's solid about shooting the three anymore. People were hesitant. I think Franz, yesterday he shot it better. Today it was kind of hesitant. He had some shots that were open. He didn't take them. So we need to get hot. We need to get hot for
Yeah.
this week.
I mean, that's what I was saying. And previously. Like that's why I don't know if winning the championship or not is going to be a bust, because this has happened to us too many times over the past 4 losses now, where teams have just gone off and just start shooting and haven't missed anything. And with that, and on top of that, with what JB said about us not having a killer, there's no one on that team who I would trust to take the last shot, to be honest. Hence of today's ending. First of all, that was a horribly coached last minute of the game. The fact that our ISO guy was our ISO guy last minute. Yeah, that's a horrible. You're gonna let Mike Smith be the last one to take the shot out of all the people down there when Hunter Dickinson was killing it in the paint. You don't throw it down to Hunter Dickinson. Let him at least try to draw a foul and let him at least do something with the ball. He's the best player on that, best person on that court for Michigan at that time. Franz is out. Livers is not playing. You're gonna let Mike Smith, 5'11" maybe, take that last shot on an ISO call, and on top of that, he had a timeout to spare. Come on, that was like one of the worst coaching he's done all year, and it's just it doesn't bode well.
Well, let's just get this out of the way. All right, the last minute, it was really the last play, because last minute, man, that was pretty special. I mean, that was a pretty remarkable comeback. Yeah, the last play, I do have to say something about the last play. Do you think he was fouled?
Who, Mike Smith?
When he landed?
No way. No, he wasn't fouled. What gives Mike Smith should not be doing a crossover?
No. It's not about the play. Was he fouled?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No.
Okay.
He missed a shot. He was in the top of the key and he missed a shot. There's no foul about it.
Oh yeah, he missed a shot, but was he fouled? I'm just asking. I thought he was fouled. Maybe it was just me.
I thought they took a little too long to get into the play, because if it doesn't work out, right? Whether you throw it to Hunter Dickinson, there were 4 Ohio State players kind of crowding. I think there was a guy that was by Eli, so he wasn't gonna dump it down to Eli, and you had Terrence Williams and Chauncey on the other side that he may have been able to throw it to Terrence Williams, but I wouldn't trust Terrence Williams with the shot.
Yeah.
But I think they got into the set a little too slow. They didn't give a chance at the offensive rebound, a foul, 2 shots. Then we get another chance to hit another 3-pointer. Questionable decision. I think we hustled today. I do think we hustled second half. Nameless number 2, right? Not nameless guest, but nameless, said we were out rebounded. Yeah, we were out rebounded by 1. We had similar numbers on rebounds. We turned the ball over twice. It came down to they made their 3-pointers and we missed our 3-pointers. They were like 12 for 20 or 12 for 21 or something like that on 3-pointers. We were like 5 for 20.
We were 6 for 19.
6 for 19. And it was a valiant effort to come back with 14 down with 4 minutes left. Give Hunter Dickinson credit on that steal and the little inside Euro, lay it up and in for a 7-1 guy. Come on. Let's give Juwan some credit for coach of the year. The coach of the year brought us back from 14 down. A little mishap at the end of the game, right? But I would have thrown on Juwan. He made we got into the set a little too slow, but to come back from 14 down with Isaiah Livers out of the game, I thought Michigan did a great job today given the circumstance.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's why I'm more upset that we didn't give it to Hunter the whole game. When he was getting hot, we always went back out and did perimeter and did outside shooting. When he was getting hot in the paint and making scores and making buckets, we went away from that. Like, why are we going away from Hunter Dickinson, who is at that point and in this game probably the best player that we have, with Franz being in foul trouble the whole game, with no one else making any buckets. He was getting hot in the paint, and our points in the paint were so much better than OSU's, and yet we went away from that. That's why in the last 30 seconds, I really don't know and don't understand why we didn't let him have the shot, have a chance for him to win the game. Like you guys said, he was the reason why we got to the point where we were. That steal, the bucket, the dunk prior to that. I mean, he was just like, I think he would have been on fire and he would have done something. And I don't know. Yeah, that's just me. I don't know why Mike Smith was the one taking the last shot.
Well, so let me talk about that a little bit. I think where Hunter was in that play was in the wrong spot with Mike and Williams on that side of the court. Should have been the other side for Hunter and Smith. Williams should have been way out of the play. I think that was a mistake. I think that was a coaching mistake. That was a mistake by Smith and Hunter for being on the wrong side of the court. Because if Hunter was with Smith on the other side, definitely Smith would have fed it. Because being on that right side, I think Hunter would have been double teamed right away. And that would have been dead.
No, but even if he got double teamed, that's the point of him getting double teamed. Someone's gonna be open, so he can dish it back out. But even with that though, I think.
So who would be open?
Hey, he's better than taking a contested shot that Mike Smith took.
No, I know, but who would be open? Who would be the one open to take the shot then?
It depends on who the double team comes from.
Yeah,
All right, we need to move forward here. Name a
Exactly. I don't disagree with Smitty taking the shot. You think Mike Smith is going to let Terrence take the shot?
Let's
just going to be double team. Come on.
Let's just put it this way. That last shot, okay, there was a lot of things going on, okay? Number one, the personnel on the floor. If you look at the replay or look at the shot, there's 4 Buckeyes in the paint. 4 Buckeyes. The only guy that wasn't in the paint was the guy that was shadowing Eli Brooks. But other than that, there was 4 Buckeyes in the paint waiting. So there wasn't many options to drive into the paint or to feed it into Hunter Dickinson. There just wasn't. Okay. So, the shot ended up being what it was. But you know what it reminded me of? This problem. This is one of the problems that reminds me of the old Knicks when Patrick Ewing was the best player on the Knicks. When it came down to last end of game possessions and whatnot, the Knicks would always struggle with getting Ewing the ball in a good spot for him to take the last shot. And that's one of the problems you have when your best player is a post player versus a guard. Because a guard can create shots for himself. But if it's a post player, whether it's Hunter Dickinson or Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing, they're dependent on somebody getting them the ball so that they can take the last shot. And that's what we saw today. Even on that pick and roll, even with the switch, with what's-his-face big man on Mike Smith and what's-his-face smaller guy on Hunter Dickinson, they still couldn't get Hunter Dickinson the ball. And that's what ended up happening with Mike Smith taking that last shot. It is what it is. It was what it was. As far as calling a timeout and this, that, and the other, I listened to what, Juwan was saying, Coach Howard was saying after the game. I can live with what his rationale. I can live with it. Do I agree with it personally? No. I would have rather have, called the timeout, have, set something up. Because if there's one thing that we kind of do pretty well is of inbounds passes, we get a little shifty on the inbound passes. So I would have liked to see something like that. Or if we're trying to set something up and we don't see what we wanted and it's not working, then they call a timeout at that point. But, hey, they went with what they had, and it turned out the way it did. I'm disappointed. I don't know what else to say.
I think Franz being out, limited our options in that last possession. If Franz was there, and there were many weapons like we had in our championship run, the IM team, like when we had a lot of options, the game was a lot easier, But when you have limited options, who are you going to kick it out to? You only had Mike Smith who was a high percentage 3-point shot. Chauncey, Terrence Williams, they were the ones that were left open. So you know what? I just say, I still go back to they should have gotten to the set a little earlier. Give himself a chance at the offensive rebound. I also wonder about Brandon Johns Jr. versus Terrence Williams. Maybe Brandon Johns Jr. should have been in there. He could hit the 3-point shot. He's a board crasher. We had a board crasher in our championship run. When I was a post player, hey, I need to get the ball all the time. They were able to get the ball into me, but I was able to kick it out to KO, who could splash it. But anyway, enough about the IM championship run. It was, there were some questionable decisions, but you know what? It was a great, great comeback.
It just all points to the fact that maybe we're too team-ish, and maybe we still need that one person who's willing to take the dagger shot. So it's all learning experiences. I think they know that they're gonna have to prep for this for the tourney. Other teams are watching this tape on Michigan. They know if they crowd the center, they crowd Hunter Dickinson. We got to rely upon 3-point shooters. We don't have Isaiah Livers. If I were an opposing coach, I would do the same thing. Crowd the middle, let them try to shoot over us and see if they can make it. Beeline would have loved it. He would have loved this. He'd have been like, yes, let's keep shooting the 3, no problem. I think Howard's style is a little bit different. So it's another challenge that we have to overcome.
Well, I don't know what else to say about this game, other than the fact that, just kind of taking a step back for a sec, despite the fact that Isaiah Livers was out, he's what, our second leading scorer? Is that right? Right, our second leading scorer was out. Our do it all first team all defense, other swingman Franz Wagner had fouled out. Despite all these challenges that we had, we still almost won the game. So I take some optimism from that point of view. Still almost won.
Optimism?
Yeah, optimism. What kind of commentary is that? It's just like a guttural, yeah. It's not even words.
Let's move on. This is leading all to the tournament. What's going on with the tournament? Seeding? How far are we going to go? Let's hear from everyone.
All right, producer JB, kick us off. Where do you see us heading into the tournament? Are we still on the 1 seed line, or are we dropping down to the 2 seed? And then where do you see us finishing off the season?
As of 30 minutes ago, according to Joe Lunardi, we are still a number 1 seed. We're the 4th seed now that we've dropped down. Illinois beating Iowa was crucial for us, for Iowa not to surpass us. We're in, I think, the Midwest bracket, I think what they said. And then they're projecting us with like Alabama, Arkansas, I think is a really good draw because we don't have any of the other teams that are kind of tricky out there. I originally said Final Four with Isaiah Livers. I have to revise my projection now. Realistically, I'm going to say Sweet 16 guaranteed. Elite 8 is the goal.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that and also revising. Back when we were doing this initially and we went around the table, I said Final Four. Man, have things changed. We got spanked by the Illini. We've proceeded to lose to Sparty in a somewhat meaningless game after celebrating a Big Ten championship. But here we go again, and against quality competition, another like top 10-ish type of team. It's kind of a toss-up. And we fall to the Buckeyes. The only solace there is who cares? Just a freaking Big Ten tournament game, whatever. It's all about the tourney now, and I'm thinking Sweet 16, maybe one more round after that. I think we've been sort of revealed a little bit. We've peaked, guys. The good times have maybe be behind us.
Wow, nameless guest. You were one of the staunchest supporters of this team, not just 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. And now listen to you.
The nameless guest, don't forget, also known as the ultimate flopper. That's the other side of me here, right?
I don't know. I got to go with nameless guest a little bit here. For me, I think if we're not a number one seed, I don't really care if we're 1 or 2. That's to me that's pretty irrelevant. But if we somehow get replaced by OSU, then I'll be pissed. I think that would be ridiculous if we somehow get replaced by OSU, because I don't think OSU deserves to be a number one seed at all. And on top of that, if we get kicked out of number one, Baylor should be kicked out too. Because if anything, Baylor had the same kind of performance we did down the stretch.
Right.
With that said, I think Elite Eight I'll be happy if we make it Elite Eight. I don't think we'll make it to Elite Eight. I think somehow Sweet 16 will be the end of our dance this year. I feel like the Steelers of this year of 2020-21 season, going undefeated for like 14 games and then just wheels slowly falling off. I'm hoping that's not our fate, but I don't know. I just don't have a big of a confidence I did 2 weeks ago of this team, especially if Isaiah's out, because that's huge.
So yes, I do think that a little bit of the luster of this team, right, is not the same as it was 3 weeks ago when we were blowing teams out by 20. We were blowing Iowa out by 20.
Right.
And Isaiah Livers is probably out for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think, Final Four, I'll kind of take a step back. Elite Eight potential. I'm telling you, I think this team really found something in the second half. We had to adjust with Isaiah Livers not being out there, right? We couldn't run the set with him without Isaiah Livers. We couldn't practice without Isaiah Livers. So we had to adjust in the game. I think we're going to work on that this week. I think Charlie Brown, Brandon Johns Jr., as much as Big Reg kind of dogged on Brandon Johns Jr. today a little bit, a little bit.
You did. You dogged him.
He played well in the first half. They were feeding him in the post, and they couldn't stop him. They had to foul him. He was hitting his free throws. So I think, there's a lot of potential with Brandon Johns Jr. that will get revealed during tournament time. You're going to see that, right, next weekend. And we're going to the Elite Eight as a number one seed. There's no way they're going to get OSU a number one seed when we beat them on their home floor, right? They beat us in a neutral site with, by 1 point, but we beat them, at their home floor. And we're the regular season Big Ten champions. There's no way that OSU will get a number one seed over us.
No way? Even if they beat Illini in the Big Ten finals? No?
No way.
I think there's a small possibility. Now, I'll say this. I think Michigan deserves number one seed for the overall body of work. I do think they will definitely make it to Elite Eight. That game, that matchup, Elite Eight, that's going to be key here. So if they face some team like Florida State, I think they're going to be challenged. Any team that can play defense, Michigan is going to have a tough time winning that game. So I don't know. It's just these slow starts. Today, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan State. It's been consistent bad first half. Can't do that after Sweet 16 and expect to make it to the Final Four.
So, Nameless, what's your prediction? You kind of left that out there, Nameless.
They'll make it to Final Four.
Oh,
wow.
After all the challenges that he threw out, Final Four.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, can I ask one question though? What's the over under on Brandon Johns dribbling the ball off of his foot again? I feel like he's done that every game that he's played.
Wow.
I mean,
focusing on the negative. Wait.
No.
How many games did he score today? And did you see him play and hustle the last two games?
Hey, I have no doubt. I love his hustle. I'm just saying he dribbles off of his foot one too many times. That's just a little, you know.
How many turnovers did Michigan have today in total?
We didn't have that many. I don't think.
2 turnovers. Two.
Yeah, we didn't have that many.
Two
Turnovers.
Wow, focusing on John's again, bagging on John's Jr. Spicy and Big Reg, dogging John's
First of all,
Jr. My
I
God.
should- 20th of all, I did not bag on Brandon Johns Jr. Okay, let me make that abundantly clear. Holy smokes, these guys! Holy smokes, trying to put these words in my mouth like it's Skittles. Come on, man, get out of here. Here's what I did say. I said Brandon Johns Jr. played better against Maryland. When Brandon Johns Jr. really shined yesterday versus Maryland versus today versus OSU, Brandon Johns Jr. played really well when we were playing him as a small ball 5. That's when he did a lot of good things versus Maryland. But versus OSU, when he was playing the power forward spot, it wasn't as good. Let's be honest. It wasn't as good. He still had some plays in the first half, but he wasn't as impactful as he was yesterday versus Maryland. I thought he did a really good job yesterday versus Maryland. So I raised my glass to Brandon John Jr., BJJ, putting the rear naked choke on him. But I just wish that, man, oh man, I just wish that this is going to sound like sour grapes, but I gotta say it. I was so frustrated this game because there was a lot of times when we would be about to grab like the ball would get tipped and somehow it would squirt to a OSU guy.
Yep.
I was getting so frustrated with that. I was like, all right, it's got to even out eventually. But for whatever reason, if there was a loose ball squirt out, something happened, it would always end up with an OSU guy. I was like, you got to be effing kidding me. So it wasn't like they were boxing us out and powering through and grabbing these offensive rebounds, but a lot of these long rebounds that would get tipped, blah, 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 yada, 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 off of those threes that they were chucking up there to no end, somehow it would end up in their hands. It was just pissing me off. And then the other thing, today, we didn't really talk about it, but especially in the first half and a little bit into the second half, it was like there was a lid on the rim when we would get to the basket. We could not finish off these drives. There were so many drives where we got to the basket, we got to the hole, but we couldn't convert. It was just killing me. It was killing me. Hunter Dickinson, as much as we were saying here, he was on a roll, but in the first half and really into a little bit into the beginning of the second half, he would get right to the hoop, and it was like boink, boink, boink. And instead of boinking in, it was boink, 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 boink out. And not just him, though. Shawnee would get to the rim, boink out. Mike Smith got to the rim a lot of times, would boink out. So all these little things, these little millimeters. I'm talking millimeters, baby, millimeters. These were the things that were driving me crazy today. If one of those millimeters turned out the other way, we might have pulled out this victory. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be.
I don't think it's about millimeters.
Huh?
I don't think it's about millimeters. Sorry,
What do you
Reg.
mean?
I think it's the level of the competition that we play against. We can handle inferior foes like Maryland and others that are pretty good but not that good. But you stack somebody else up.
You're making
we don't
it
match
like
up.
Just got blown out again. All right, fine. We got blown out by Illinois, and you were scarred by that. We can all tell that
Not just me.
Was scarred, deeply scarred by that. Okay, I know. Message received louder. But come on, man. We lost by 1 point, and we had a chance to win the game in the last seconds. All without Isaiah Livers and without Franz Wagner. Playing with, a couple kids that don't really get a lot of PT. But we still were in there hanging tough. So I got to give credit to the team for that. We almost made it to the Big 10 Tournament Finals. So I raised my glass to that.
I will say, I think one of the things that we also don't see is Eli's playing, but he's not playing like normal Eli. Like he's not flying around the court. He's playing hard defense, and I think he's focusing on that. But even in that last play, we could have set something up for Eli, him being the slasher that he is, that could have, got the ball around and made some kind of movement. I think everyone kind of knows, we just sat there and then we just waited for time to come out, and we could have ran Beeline. You think Beeline would have arranged that like that? Probably not. He would have had some elaborate screen through, double, whatever, blah, 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 and then try to get a shot. that goes. So those are all learning lessons. But I
Yeah.
think in the tournament, I think this is where we're going to see a lot of teams don't know Michigan. Big Ten, we're like brothers. We just beat up on each other, and then we get through the whole season, and we know all tendencies. But you get to tournament time, they don't know Hunter Dickinson. They don't know which way Franz is going to go. They don't know who's going to shoot the ball. So I think we're going to see that run happen. And this is the only way that we're going to get to the Final Four, in my opinion, is if we have the right matchups. If we get lucky and we don't have the teams that are going to take us down. Just like Big Rock said, like if we get a Florida State that we have to go against, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I agree with John. I mean, with JB, I gotta say, I would have been okay if we drew up a good play and didn't make the shot, and then we lost. I think I could live with that. I could live with us doing something and not having it go in. That's fine. That's just the way the game goes sometimes. But the only thing about that last play was that I don't think you cannot tell me that was the best play you could come up with. That's the only problem with that last play. So I totally agree with John. I totally agree with John that Juan did not do the best that he could have with that last, because we had a good amount of time. We had personnel or not. Yeah, we were lacking people who play a lot of minutes, but you still could have drawn up a better play. That's just it for me.
Wow, dogging on Jawan.
No, I'm not dogging. I think he's been a great coach, but you cannot say that was a great coaching job that he did that last 20 seconds of the clock. I mean, come on, like if he ran a good play and we didn't make the shot, I'll be fine with that. I could live with a bad or a shot not going in. That's just the way the rim falls sometimes. But the fact that you guys all saw the last play, we were standing there for a good 4 seconds, and then he told everyone to go. People moved around on the wings for a little bit, and then Mike Smith did an ISO step back 3. Like, I can't live with that. That's what I can't live with.
Gotta agree. That was not Coach of the Year's finest moment. And neither was stepping out onto the court so many times to piss off Turgeon.
Don't talk to me. Don't ever talk to me.
Talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Oh my gosh. Nameless guest just going in head. Are you taking over for Mr. Squarehead right now? As official troll?
Squarehead is sorely missed.
You're just trolling us right now with these comments. Holy smokes. Jeez, oh, Pete's.
Are any of these things not true? Come on, man.
Big Raj, you still have to do your prediction, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
You never did your prediction. How far are we going?
Who? What?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, again, I think we're, all right, first things first. Let me just say, again, the last play, I don't have too many problems with. The only thing that I would have liked to see more is if we had attacked the basket. Given the fact that, we were in the bonus, I think the best thing would have been to attack the basket, whether it's off a screen or roll, something. But, I would have liked to see Mike Smith be more aggressive at that point and attack the basket, because whether he draws a foul and he has to shoot free throws or some, more action, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I just didn't like him doing a step back 3 or, step back jumper at that last moment. So that would be the only nitpick I had. But having said all that, again, I'm disappointed that we lost, but I'm not despondent that we lost, if that makes any sense. I still think that this team is showing a lot of potential to be to make a very special run in this tournament. So if we are still a 1 seed, which I think we will be come Selection Sunday, I think that this team is going to definitely make the Elite 8. And then depending on who our number 2 seed is, I think we'll have a good shot of making the Final Four. I really do. Because I think the X factor in all this is going to be the real, as much as Mike Smith drives in the action, but the real engine for me is going to be Franz Wagner. Because what he does on the defensive end and what he does offensively, if he can get downhill more often. Because one of the most beautiful things I see this Michigan team do is when Franz Wagner gets downhill, he either makes some crazy circus shot or he creates for somebody else down low, whether it's Austin Davis or Hunter Dickinson. So for me, if Franz Wagner becomes the hot man going into the tournament, I think we'll go very far.
Oh my goodness! Can you state the obvious, Big Reg?
Holy smokes!
This is like you saying Ronnie Bell is the key player before the season began for Michigan football. Holy smokes! Come on now. Of course, Franz Wagner is the key player to this team. Mark my word, Brandon Johns Jr., Mr. Crazy Eyes, right? He is gonna step up big time, right, in this tournament. He had a little inkling until he got like elbowed in the back of the head today, right? And he was like, his eyes look crazier than it usually does on the sideline. He was like, oh. But you know what? My man is a player. And he's gonna show up NCAA tournament time.
Hey, can I just ask a quick question to Captain Obvious? That would be you, Big Reg. Were you or were you not actually dogging on Brandon Johns Jr.?
How many times have I explained? No, I was not dogging Brandon Johns Jr. Okay? Holy smokes. These guys, holy smokes.
I will testify off camera that he does love BJJ.
These guys, I'm telling you, why are you guys trying to paint me out to be some kind of hater? I'm not the hater of this panel. Come on, everybody knows this. Holy smokes!
No, I actually appreciate that clarification because back when I actually was dogging on Eric All, Mr. Butterfingers, you actually swooped right in and was notably like stood up for the young men and the boys. That these are just college kids after all, and I thought maybe you were just slipping out of your true form.
Oh my God. Wow. Trying to paint me out to be some kind of monster. I'm no monster. Come on. Holy smokes. As far as being obvious, it might be obvious, but you know what? It still doesn't negate the fact that it's a key to our success. So I raised my glass. Oh gosh. What else? I don't even know what else to talk about at this point. This show has gone off the rails in so many ways. I don't even know how.
Anyway, to our viewers out there, we want to know how far you think Michigan's going to go now because of Isaiah Livers being out, because of our yesteryears of what we wanted to actually see in the Big Ten tournament. How far do you think Michigan's going to go? Write it down in the comments down below. I do want to give credit to Kevin Lee out there who did successfully acknowledge that I was the Oracle last time and predicted that Maryland would beat Michigan State because Sparty sucks. But whatever. I'm gonna brush that off my shoulders. But we want to see who you think is gonna be, where Michigan is gonna go to, how far are we gonna go, who's the key players. Write that all down in the comments down below so that we can hear from you.
Scott, I'm telling you, if there's one thing that's consistent about all of you guys is that everybody wants to take credit for being the Oracle, about making right predictions. Holy smokes. Of course, everybody's overlooking the fact that I was the one that pointed out that OSU always has trouble closing out games. I don't want to mention that, but you know what? It is true that I am the one that always pointed that out. The fact that we were able to come back from 13 down in less than 4 minutes left to play. But whatever. You know what I mean? My Oracle, my Oracle credentials are, sky high right now. But whatever. Anyway. Were we going to shout out somebody?
I did shout out one person.
No, there was another person we were gonna shout out.
Oh, new subscriber.
Oh yeah. Josh
McGowan.
McGowan.
Yes.
Raise a glass to Josh. Josh, we shout you out. Welcome to this silliness. Holy smokes. I'm telling you, this show is turned into like diarrhea after going to a bad video joint. Holy smokes. But it's just all over the place, man. This is all over the place. Oh, you guys know. Anywho, guys, anything else before we wrap this up? No? All right. If not, I don't know when the next show is going to be because we got to see what's happening with the tournament. We raise our glass to Coach Howard, the team, the rest of the staff. We wish them the best as they get ready for the NCAA tournament and the Indianapolis bubble. We wish them continued good health, and we hope that they continue to prepare and focus and lock in so that they can make a long run in this NCAA tournament and hopefully make it to the Final Four and beyond. So I raise my glass to that and I say, go blue.
Go Blue.
Go blue.
Go blue. Go blue.